Hi, I'm Pav.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to the Top 10 of Anything podcast.
Let's start the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very festive edition of the Top 10 of Anything. We have a very special guest joining us today. Oh, very special.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's me, Santa.
And a very Merry Christmas to you, Santa.
How are you doing, Neil? I see you're on my good list this year.
Oh, that's a good thing to know, because I haven't really done anything, so I must be being good. But I hope you've got all my presents in your stockings.
I can't tell you whether I have or haven't. I would rather make it a nice surprise on Christmas Day. But I will be sliding up your chimney. Well, down your chimney first, and then sliding back up your chimney.
I would expect nothing less. And what a coincidence. I'm dressed as you look.
I think you look wonderful. For all the people on YouTube would be able to see you. People listening, tough shit.
Wow. I've got a Sandy Claus jumper on.
You have. And what did you want? I can't quite remember what you put on your list.
Oh, I would like some inflatables.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
I'd like something that is very moist and tasty.
Ho, ho, ho.
With a nice hole in it.
A donut.
That's the one.
I
forgot what it was called for a moment. Yes, a donut. And then the inflatables so I can take them on holiday with me when I go to the seaside. A lady with a big bucket would be nice. And a spade.
Is that for the seaside too?
Yes. To come with me to the seaside. Very much would like her to join me. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
What about you? I have a question for you, Father Christmas. Father Christmas, do you get Christmas presents?
I don't really. The only present I have is seeing the Christmas cheer on a children's face.
Oh. And how many kids believe nowadays? I mean, I still believe.
Well, the magic is still there, although it's getting less and less every year. So anybody listening, if you could just dangle a bit of Christmas cheer through your TV sets and your radiograms, it would be much appreciated.
And what should people leave for you by the fireplace when you come down their chimney?
Well, apart from the fact that one movie that has me in it is very inaccurate, I'm not lactose intolerant. So I actually like chocolate milk.
Ooh.
Although it does make my beard look very dirty come the end of the night.
You look like one of those white dogs with the dirty face.
It looks like I've been sucking a cat's arsehole.
Oh, Santa. And you've done that
And I
before?
don't mind that sometimes. It's quite nice.
Warms you up, does it, on a winter's night?
But Pavo sent me here. What exactly am I supposed to be doing?
Well, if you would be so kind, we have a very special guest joining us tonight for a very Christmassy podcast.
Well, thank God, otherwise it'd be a pain in the ass me being here if it wasn't Christmassy.
And we were just wondering, Pavo obviously indisposed at the moment, was wondering whether you would be so kind as to do the introduction for us.
Well, it's funny you should say I have something already prepared in true Fanny Craddock style. Or was it Delia Smith? I can't remember.
Let's be having you.
Let's be having you indeed.
But I think it was Fanny's.
I think it was, yes. I have listened to some episodes of this podcast, and I'm very impressed.
Yes, you enjoyed it.
Pavo. I think he's fantastic.
Even with his fruity language.
Even with his fruity language. Now, I believe that somebody is coming to join us, so shall we let them in?
Let them in. Let them in.
Let's let them in. Ah, Merry Christmas! Oh, bless your heart. Look at that beautiful Christmas cracker.
Let me introduce you, Faye. This is Father Christmas. Father Christmas, this is Faye.
I know Faye. She is on my nice list. Indeed, she is.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad it's not just me that's dressed up today.
Well, Neil has made an effort, I have to say. Neil has made an effort.
I finally put some clothes on.
Indeed.
Neil, it's good to see you.
Oh, it's very good to see you. Thank you very much.
And you, Father Christmas, real Father Christmas.
Yeah, the real one.
Absolutely. There is I'm like Highlander. There is only one, and it's me. So,
if I'm not mistaken, I think Pav will be joining us a bit later on.
Okay, then.
He is literally just over there where I'm pointing. He is just out of camera shot. I have a bit of an introduction to do, give you some ho-hos, and then I'll be on my way. Because Mrs. Claus is waiting for me with a couple of lovely mince pies. Ooh, I love mince pies, you know.
Oh, I always liked it when you minced.
I love it. Shall we start the podcast properly then?
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Well, hello, everyone. It's Santa here. Yes, I've taken over from Pavo for the start of this very special Christmas edition of the Top 10 of Anything podcast, where they're celebrating me. Now settle down, make sure you've sent your Christmas lists, and make sure you have been good boys and girls. Here's Neil with 10 festive facts about me.
Thank you very much, Santa. So here we go. Folklore turned Santa Claus into the toy-giving hero he is today. In reality, Santa Claus is based on St. Nicholas, the Bishop of Myra, who was born in 270 AD. He earned a reputation of giving random gifts to those around him.
Ho, ho, ho.
Now, his sleigh is probably the fastest vehicle ever made. Scientists have done all the calculations and maths, and it is estimated to travel at 1,800 miles per second to be able to deliver to all the children in the world.
It's 1,850 to be precise. Ho, ho, ho.
He's only worn red since he started shilling for Coca-Cola.
Shilling? Ho, ho, ho.
The name Santa Claus is based on the Dutch name Sinterklaas, which is a contracted form of St. Nicholas. In the 17th century, the Dutch brought the name with them to America, where it got anglicized from Sinterklaas to Santa Claus.
Well, that's ruined one of the quiz questions. Ho, ho, ho!
Santa Claus answers to several different names, though. Some well-known nicknames include Santa, St. Nick, Father Christmas, the Big Man in Red, St. Nicholas, Kris Kringle, and even Captain Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
In his satiric book, 1809 book, A History of New York, Washington Irving did away with the characterization of Santa Claus as a lanky bishop, says Whips. Instead, Irving describes Santa as a portly, bearded man who smokes a pipe. Irving's story also marked the first time Santa slid down the chimney.
That was lanky, you said, wasn't it?
Take it as you will. Take it as you
will.
Ho,
ho, ho.
In Britain and Australia, it is popular to leave sherry and a mince pie for Santa. In Ireland, it's a Guinness and Christmas pud, and in Sweden and Norway, it's rice pudding he gets. No wonder he's a little bit tubby.
I'm arseholed by Sweden. I hope you know that. Ho, ho, ho!
Santa has 8 reindeer: Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen.
Ho, ho, ho.
Rudolph was added to Santa's reindeer team during a severe snowstorm one Christmas Eve.
He's a slacker. Absolute slacker. It's an embarrassment. It's his job. I sound like Roy Keane. Ho, ho, ho.
And Santa Claus will visit over 90 million homes on Christmas Eve.
Yes, I will. Ho, ho, ho.
So thank you very much, Santa, for joining us.
Well, may I say, it was an absolute pleasure. It was a wonderful experience for you. to see me in the flesh.
It's a
And-
shame I couldn't sit on your knee.
I was thinking the same thing when I saw Faye. I was thinking, why are you going to be sitting on my knee? But I have to go and see Mrs. Claus now. So, yes, Pavel, yes, okay. So, Pavel wants to come and join us. I will see you on Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Christmas!
Merry
Thank you,
Christmas.
Santa.
I'll
Thank
leave you
very
to
much.
it for a
Fine.
second. Bye-bye.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Ah, bless
Wow.
him. There you
Oh
go.
my-
There's a special guest for you, Faye.
How did you manage to bag him this close to Christmas?
You answered my question. I bagged him. When I saw him in the supermarket, I believed it was the real Santa, so I got the bag, threw it over him, and brought him with me.
I love the line, I'll be arseholed by the time I get to Sweden.
Yeah.
And also, you lanky bishop. I mean, what an insult.
I know, isn't it? Isn't it? He's a one. He's a one when he gets on that sherry, says Santa. Anyway, Faye, how are you?
I'm very, very well, thank you. I've just come back from my daughter's carol concert at the local church. And I
Aw.
tell you what, I had a little moment where I was crying. As you get older, you know this, Neil, you get
Mm.
emotional, don't you? You get very emotional.
Oh,
And hearing
yeah.
a church full of children sing so beautifully, it really touched me. And now
Aw.
I am officially feeling Christmassy.
Oh,
And
that's the
this
good
is
thing.
this is just the icing on the Christmas cake, seeing
course.
you dressed as Father Christmas and meeting the real Father Christmas tonight.
I know. I put this. It's a woolly jumper, and it's great. I love it. I can't keep the hood up very long because it's woolly, and I start to sweat. And then
Hello,
Pav walks,
everyone.
Pav
Yes.
walks right in as I said I start to sweat.
Of course I do.
Pablo, you've just missed Father Christmas.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
literally, I mean, we both got stuck in the doorway because we tried to get in and through the same way. We both got stuck. So we were just trying to work our way to sort of like squeeze past each other.
Oh.
But yeah, so is he okay? Was he all right?
He was good. I didn't realize he was such a lush, but he's all right. He's all right.
He was all right. Well, bless him.
Yeah.
Bless him. Faye, how are you? It's been a while since I've
Yeah.
seen you.
Yeah, good. I was just saying to Neil, I've just come from a carol concert and just feeling so Christmassy now. And I've got my little hat on, and it's been, you know, life's been really busy recently, and I haven't felt Christmassy. But tonight, it's when it all starts. This is the night.
This
I've
is
met
it.
Father
Yes.
Christmas,
This is it.
and the elf's hat is on. Let's do this.
Let's
Yes.
do this. So
How are
we're
you,
gonna.
boys? How are
we're-
you, boys? Does anybody ever ask you how you are, though?
No, no one gives a
No,
shit
no.
about that. I mean, obviously we need to find out how Neil is because he's been through the wars.
Yes,
Bless
it
him.
is.
I have. I know I'm on the road to recovery now. As we speak at Christmas time, I'm on intensive physio and all the gubbins that go with it when they don't cancel it. But all the gubbins that go with it, yeah, it's fantastic. So I'm feeling a bit more positive in my outlook, and I'm going to enjoy Christmas like you wouldn't believe this year, because I have no recollection of last Christmas because I had a morphine Christmas. So
Oh.
who knows what happened. So this Christmas, I'm having two rolled into one.
Oh, that's good to hear. And we've really missed you on these podcasts.
Aw,
We have.
Thank you, Faye.
We have indeed.
I mean, you're the voice of reason, and that's saying something, isn't it? Really?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Oh, my Lord.
That's the first time I've ever been told that. It's usually me being told to be quiet. You can't say that, especially at Christmas.
Right, so just to let everyone know, what we're doing is we're counting down our top 10 Santas, really top 10 Santas in pop culture. It doesn't have to be just movies, TV. It can be literally anywhere somebody is dressed up as Santa. So I know Faye sent me a message saying this is one of the hardest ones, or this is the hardest one ever. I think she
harder
was
than
talking
Chris.
about I think she was talking about the top 10. She could have been talking about anything. Knowing Faye, could have been anything. Yes, harder than crisps. Yeah, because that was, I mean, like I said,
was
the
easy.
height of journalism for Faye
I
was
know.
counting down her top 10 crisps. I always think that was one of my favorite moments of the podcast is when she was doing a 10 to 2 rundown and just laughing, saying, "This is ridiculous." That's so good.
But
Just come
I
out
am,
of the pandemic, though, hadn't we? So
We
everything
had.
was ridiculous.
and I'm also a big convert to those onion rings. Yeah, was it Aldi onion rings? Yes, they are good.
Well,
Not so
okay.
much for my breath, but they are good.
So how did everybody get on with doing their top 10? I know, Faye, you said that it was hard. Did you have a lot to choose from, or did you find it hard to get 10?
I found it really hard to get 10, and I've actually done so much research this time. Normally, it's just like, "Oh, yeah, we'll see what happens, be spontaneous." I've really had to dig deep this time, and it hasn't flowed like I thought it would, but
Mm.
I think you'll be quite pleased stroke surprised with my choices tonight.
Nice.
Excited.
What about you, Neil?
Well, I mean, as soon as I was told about this subject, I had a couple that I knew straight away would be in there, possibly even my number one, which is like swapping from 1 and 2, but you'll understand why when I say. But it was the other Chris. I thought, well, hang on, there's more to Father Christmas than just the movies.
There is.
And so
Yes.
that took me a little dig. But yeah, it was fun finding all the Santas. The Santas you'd forgot,
Mm.
starring Doug McClure.
Yeah, I think that's key to it actually, Neil, that once you think past movies, because that's your first
Mm,
thought, isn't it? Actually, there's a lot of scope there. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna take you on a journey tonight.
Ooh,
yeah.
we
And
like going on journeys. We certainly
and
like going. Oh,
I am going to reveal something huge. This is so massive. I have never told anybody this before, but by the end of tonight,
right.
you'll know
You don't
a
believe in Christmas? Is that what you're going to tell us?
huge. No, no, I believe in Christmas, but this is so big. It's a big scoop that you're getting
Oh,
tonight.
big scoop. Okay.
Oh,
I
Ooh,
don't.
big scoop.
I'm. What could that be? I mean, let's crack on so we can get to it. I
yeah.
say is what I say. That's what I say.
All right.
Right then, kick us off then, Faye, with your number 10 Santa.
Oh, that's it. No big like fanfare or anything. This is it, straight in.
Straight
Well, you
in.
met.
Let's go
I
for it.
mean,
Come on, because I
yeah.
want to know. You've built it up so much now, Faye, that I need to know what it is that you're gonna. What the
Well,
big.
you've got to wait till number one for
Oh,
my
fair
big
enough. That's even better.
reveal.
That's
Yeah.
even better.
Okay. Well, can I just come clean and say I absolutely love Father Christmas, and I always have since being a little girl. And I don't know what it is. I think it's the crimson costume, the fake beard, the air of mystery. Who is this? Who is this mystery guy? So I've always been a big fan. I know some people are quite frightened of him, especially small children, and I think we've all been there. This will resonate with so many people. Taking your little child to meet Father Christmas for the very first time, and your child scarpers. You've
Mm.
paid a lot of money to see Father Christmas, and they just think it's the most terrifying thing they've ever seen. Who is this strange person? Mummy, you've always said, don't talk to strangers, and now there's me getting really close to this guy who's saying, "Come and sit on my knee."
Yes. And you're telling your child that he's going to be coming into your bedroom in the middle of the night and leaving
Exactly.
you presents. And yet
Yeah, I
Yeah.
you
mean,
say,
a
don't talk
bit
to
weird,
strangers.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
very weird
exactly.
concept.
Anyway, this sort of leads nicely on to my number 10. And okay, you might not know who I'm talking about or where I'm talking about, but I grew up in Worcestershire. And it was our sort of family tradition every Christmas to go to Worcester to do our big sort of Christmas shop, get some posh clothes to wear over Christmas, to see our, relatives and granny and granddad. And we'd go to this big department store called Russell and Dorrell. It was in the high street. I don't think it exists anymore, but people listening to this, there will be a big department store near them where this happened. We went into the bowels of the department store, down these steps, and it was all beautifully decorated. They'd spent so much time on the sort of the consumer experience, going to meet Father Christmas in his grotto right down in the basement. And honestly, this was the most magical time, and totally excited to see Father Christmas every year in the department store. And so so the Father Christmas we met in the department store all those years ago in Worcester is going to be my number 10. I know not everybody knows this particular Father
Mhm.
Christmas because there are impersonators, aren't there? We've met the real one tonight.
We've met the, we've met the
But
real
there
one.
are impersonators because Father Christmas can't be everywhere. So there are
Yes.
impersonators. So my number 10 is the Father Christmas I met at Russell and Dorrell department store in Worcester.
That's a great one to
Ah,
start with.
it
Nice,
is a great
something
one.
that's nice and personal to you. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody's had that kind of experience with a shop Santa. Sounds very
Well, just a grotto Santa.
a grotto Santa. That's a good
Grotto,
way of
not
putting
a
it.
grotty
Yes.
Santa, but a
Yes.
Yeah.
grotto Santa.
Because I would have put the same, and for a couple of years, I always remember this as vivid as day. I was in our local village hall. We used to have a Christmas fair, and there was a Father Christmas that used to be set up in his grotto. And 2 years on the trot, I was very excited. The third year on the trot, I found out it was my granddad.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
And you didn't recognise his
Not
voice
for-
or anything.
Not for 2 years, and the third year, I suddenly thought, "Hang on."
And
But
how
yeah.
old were you then?
So I'm not entirely sure, but I reckon I was probably
36.
about, yeah, maybe 35. Faye. No, I think I was about 6 or 7, maybe 8, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, it was young.
Have you
Yeah.
ever dressed up as Santa yourself, Neil?
Yes, yeah, I did it for the local primary school for 2 years on the trot. Went into the classrooms when they weren't expecting it to deliver the little gifts that the primary school had set up. I did that twice, and it is so joyful when you do it for kids, especially when you
You're
got
like
like
a superhero, aren't you? You're like
Yeah,
a
they
celebrity
love
to these
you.
young children. What an
And the-
amazing privilege.
and the excitement on their faces, and it makes you feel so excited yourself. Yeah,
It's weird.
ready
It's
for
weird
it.
'cause I've had. Well, my grandchildren won't listen to this, so it don't matter. But when my eldest grandchildren were really young, no, actually, it was my niece and nephew when they were really young. My sister-in-law asked if I could dress up as Santa and pop their what they called stockings in at like midnight, just wake them up a little bit, and then drop their Santa. And then the next morning they came downstairs saying, "We saw Santa last night. We saw Santa last night." And then a couple of years ago, I made a video for my grandson where it looked like it was a CCTV showing their tree with no presents, and then I dressed up as Santa, went into shot, did this thing like this, and then pretended, and then the presents just all of a sudden naturally appeared, and he was like, he couldn't believe it. He just went, "Oh my God!" He was going, "Bampy, Santa was here. I've got photo. Look, I got film. I got film." So it's a magical thing. It really
It
is. I
is.
must admit. I mean, I wouldn't ever think of dressing up as Santa now because it's just an old hat. But you know, I wouldn't do
Yes,
that.
joyous. I
Leave
think
that-
it is
leave that out of the way.
joyous.
Okay, so Neil, what's your number 10?
So this is quite an odd Father Christmas, but I feel I had to put it in there. It's from a film, so we'll start from the movies, and it's Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places. when
That's
he's-
my number 2.
Oh Christ!
That's my number 2.
Oh Christ! It's just the down luck Father Christmas that he is in that bit, and I don't know. It's funny yet quite sad when you see him. You've seen this movie, haven't you, Faye?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
no.
I've
never
never
seen-
seen Trading
okay.
Places. It is one of the best comedies ever.
So he's I don't want to say too much because it's a joyous comedy that you really should seek out. But he's basically at the height of his career and he plummets over a stupid bet. Okay. And then when he's at the lowest of the low, he's dressed at Father Christmas and he gate crashes his party. And there's all this banquet of food along, and he's obviously starving hungry, but he's piling it in his face as he's stuffing it into his Santa costume. But he takes a bite out of what I assume is salmon.
It's
It looks like
a
salmon.
big slab
Big
of salmon. Yeah.
Salmon. And the way that Dan Aykroyd bites that, it almost makes you sick because you see all the hairs of his beard go in as he chomps on this thing. It's
Oh.
grim, but it is also very funny.
Yeah.
So
He's the absolute lowest of the low, but
yeah.
it is such a funny. Yeah, if it's Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, it's a great John Landis
Oh,
film.
studied then. Yeah, I need to
Yeah,
see that.
such
you
You know,
really
there's
do.
so many. This whole exercise, and it has been an exercise, has made me realise how many movies I haven't seen, Father Christmas themed movies I haven't seen. So I really need to educate myself.
It's one of the gifts of this podcast is that you always find these things that you can listen to and watch that you've never done before. So it's one to add to the list without a shadow
but
of a doubt.
definitely Trading Places because it's one of the best comedies out there. It really is.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So funny, very clever, and great performances from Eddie Murphy and Denholm
And it's
Elliott.
not just a Christmas movie, Faye. It incorporates Christmas in it throughout the
Yeah.
timeline.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, thoroughly recommend it. Okay, my number 10 is a bit on the same lines as Faye's first one. It's more of a personal one, but we went to Disneyland Paris like this time last year. And although it wasn't a particularly fun trip, as my wife fell ill with strep A, is it, or whatever it's called. So it really, and we had a massive, just a nightmare getting home because the Eurostar was delayed by 5 hours or something stupid. But on the first night, we saw the parade, and the one thing Disney can do is parades, and it was just magical. It started snowing down Main Street, and this is Disneyland Paris. I said that, didn't I?
Yeah.
And their Santa was just like everything you want a Santa to be. Had a glittery red like costume on, the biggest beard you've seen, and it looked like a real beard. It didn't look like something that was just stuck on.
Like
and it was
now.
like mine now, yeah, like this one, yeah. And it was just magical. It was just everything that you wanted Christmas to feel like in like a 15-minute parade, and it was just wonderful. And so that for me was one of the nicest, greatest Santas I think I've ever seen. He was just up there on his big plinth, just enjoying life like Santa does.
I mean, that's a great job, isn't it? You know,
it's
and you're at a
fantastic.
party and it's like, what do you do for a living? It's like, I impersonate Father Christmas at Disneyland. It's like, it doesn't get any better than that.
It doesn't get any better than that. Absolutely. I completely agree. Okay, then Fate, you're number 9.
Okay, number 9. So we're going music now, and it is Wizards. I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. And there's a whole generation of children who grew up in the 70s like me, terrified of Wizard and like Roy Wood appearing on Top of the Pops, wearing this bizarre mishmash of Father Christmas clothes and a blue face. But isn't it a great song? It's stood the test of time. And Roy Wood playing a weird Father Christmas on Top of the Pops. I mean, we'll just remember that for years to come. And a Christmas song with a children's choir as well. I did some research about Roy Wood's weird woolly hat, and I was like, oh well, it's red and white, it looks like Father Christmas. But apparently when they recorded the tune in the studio, the engineers had I think they had all the windows on, just keeping the equipment cool. And it was just Arctic in there. So Roy Wood found this woolly hat in lost property, and that's where it came from. It stuck. So so that's my first music sort of Santa related piece of music tonight, but there's more to come.
Oh, because I was going to say, is that your favorite Christmas song? But obviously not. For it to be,
I was saying, we was talking to my wife about this, and we were saying about why was it like possibly the 70s was the greatest decade for Christmas songs, but it just seems
that's
like
a really good point. Who knows?
Yeah, they don't make Christmas songs to last these days, do they? It's all about sausage rolls or something like that, you know.
And they don't have enough jingles and dingles and festive music. There's so many Christmas songs that class themselves as Christmas songs, and they sound like nothing like Christmas.
No,
if you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly.
Yeah, they've lost the art, haven't they? I suppose it was the first time.
Sorry.
I was going to say, I think it was the first time that the 70s was probably when the swing style of Christmas songs, you know, your Sinatras and your Nancy Sinatras and all of those sort of singers moved on to a bit of rockier sort of Christmas songs. So I think it was the first period, and they wrote bangers. I suppose people nowadays think, yeah, I can't keep up with that. And nor can they when they try.
Really wild statistic the other day. It was a week sort of back in, I think it was October or November. There was more music released in that week than the whole of the 70s. And that just blew my mind, which then puts, you know, what you've just said, Pavo, about why were there so many amazing Christmas records released during the 70s. It's like even more so when you think, you know, there wasn't that much music released in a decade.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, really, when you think about it. And all these songs, whether it's from the 70s, or even Christmas songs from the 40s and 50s, stand the test of time, and they're the ones that are played all the time. I can't even think. Probably the latest, I suppose, apart from the Ed Sheeran, Elton John one, The Darkness is probably one.
That's
the one that
I would say
plays a
that,
lot.
that's the last great what you put on a compilation Christmas album.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even put the Ed Sheeran and Elton John one on there.
No.
Oh,
It doesn't have that sort of. No, but it doesn't have that atmosphere. It doesn't have the Christmas charisma.
Christmas.
What about
charisma.
anything that Cliff's made recently, or Cher even? Cher's just released a whole Christmas album.
Oh my
Has
god!
she?
I watched the
Yeah.
single from on the Graham Norton show. Oh,
Did you not like it?
not at all. Not at all. It was almost embarrassing.
Really?
To watch.
I didn't even know she'd done a Christmas
It's
album.
just a full auto-tuned voice.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
Christ, Cher's here. Where is she? Jesus.
Hi guys, it's Cher.
That sounded like Cilla Black.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. Oh, my Lord. Okay, so that's another little tempting tidbit from Faye there. That's a music one, but she's got more up her sleeve.
I have.
Okay, then. Go on then, Neil. You're number 9.
So I've got a TV Santa Claus, and it's John Goodman in Futurama playing Robot Santa Claus. Now, I don't know whether anybody's a fan of Futurama. I am, but Robot Santa Claus is basically the anti-Santa. Not that I advocate an anti-Santa, but it's very funny to watch. Where on Christmas Day, everybody has to bunker down. It's like the purge for Santa. He basically will come in and kill anyone that's out. So they all have to lock themselves in. And being John Goodman, as you can imagine, it's very well voiced, very funny. And I just like the fact that it's a different take on Santa a little bit. It's just charming.
You're
Keep
gonna
it
have to-
light, Neil. Keep it light.
Yeah, but it's funny. Makes me old Santa belly roll. No, it's just John Goodman. And I love John Goodman. I think he's one of the masters of great voices. You think of Monsters, Inc. and Scully on that. He's just so funny when he does a cartoon voice, and he is on Futurama because it's Matt Groening, and he's a bit of a genius when it comes to these sort of comedy programs, and put a good twist on it. I mean, it's very festive episode, but with a different.
I've never seen it. I'll have to watch out for that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've done him again in future episodes, but it's not John Goodman.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, he's only on the first one.
Right. Futurama fan, Faye?
I've only seen it a couple of times, so I'm really impressed that I've heard of it. I've definitely not seen that episode, but I'm sure there's Futurama fans around the world that are just jumping up and down at the moment with joy. Oh yeah, he's mentioned the episode. Yeah.
It's one of those series that every time I read that, like, it's being cancelled, and then the next time I read, they're bringing it back again. It seems to be cancelled and brought back and cancelled.
Oh, it's back again at the moment.
Is it?
Well, just over the last year, they've just done another season. So,
oh right, well,
yeah, it's sort of it's like the Simpsons humor, but without the kids bit in it.
Right.
But with it's not like you could let kids watch it, but they probably wouldn't understand it. It's not like it's full of swearing like South Park. It's just not got the bits for kids in.
No, okay. I'll have to look at because that's on Disney Plus, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, all the series.
Are they? There you go then. Another thing to watch, but it's
Yeah.
Okay, my number 9. Now this one just popped into my top 10 over the last couple of weeks when I've been thinking about it because I only just saw the movie, but it's David Harbour in Violent Night.
I concur with this, and I put him at number 5.
He's at number 5 for you.
Yeah, I've just watched this as well.
Now, Violent Night is basically, it's a cross between Home Alone and Die Hard, is basically what the movie is.
And the Santa Claus movie.
And the Santa Claus movie. And David Harbour plays a Santa that is just basically, he's pissed off because nobody cares anymore.
He's the real Santa, isn't he?
He is the real Santa. And what made me laugh is one of the first scenes with him in it is he's in a bar, and for some reason, arbitrarily, it says Bristol.
Yeah.
Yet nobody in there has got a Bristol accent. They've all got Cockney accents. The person that works behind the bar has sort of got a Cockney accent. Another Santa comes walking in and looks at David Harbour and goes, "Oh, you just finished work." But he's all like, "Go blimey, governor, you just finished work." I think, where's the Bristolians then? Why are they all talking like it's like the East End of London? And I don't know why. It's really weird why they decided to choose Bristol. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know why they did that. But David Harbour, I like David Harbour. He's a very schlubby kind of actor. He doesn't ever look like he wants to be like a striking leading man. Do you know what I mean? He likes what's the movie? Oh, the Equalizer that he was in with Denzel Washington. Whenever he talks, he's always spitting. Like there's always mouth spit coming out of his mouth whenever he's talking. You can imagine if you're having a close scene with him, you'd have to wash your face afterwards because it'd be just dripping with saliva. You know. Ooh. I mean, I don't know. Some people might like that. I don't know. It is David Harbour. But he's really good in this. And it's a really good movie. Sometimes it just feels a little bit like it don't quite know what kind of movie it wants to be. Whether it wants to be like a bit of a romp kind of comedy or more of a serious heist kind of movie. Beverly D'Angelo, Mrs. Griswold is also in it as well. But you can't really... She doesn't look like Beverly D'Angelo from the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. But... yeah, I really enjoyed it, but I thought he was a really good Santa because he was a good Santa, and I like a bit of revenge kind of stuff, you know. And he uses a bit of it. He uses his sack is magic, Faye. Just to let you know, he has a magic sack.
That is a great shut up line.
I was going to say your eyes definitely glistened then when I said that. But I would thoroughly recommend it as well. It's not particularly gory as such, is it? I mean, it's got a couple of moments in it.
Yeah,
it's got a couple of moments in it, but it's more CGI blood than what I thought looked realistic.
The violence is very brutal, but not gory.
But cartoony, I would say. It's
cartoony. Yeah. You recommended this to me, and I thought, okay, I'll watch it, and I did, and I hadn't had that much fun with a movie in a long time. Where I was proper belly laughing. It's full of extreme violence. Like you said, it's a cross between Home Alone, Die Hard, with a real Santa Claus. But at the end of the day, it's got a real heart to it. Like a proper... That's why I put it quite high, is because I thought it was so sweet at the end of it. Without spoiling it, it's just got the heart that you want for a Christmas movie, and there it is.
Yeah, another one to add to your list there, Faye.
Yeah, not seen that one, but thank you. That's a great recommendation.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it for the kids because Father Christmas properly swears in it.
Yeah, they don't want to see Father Christmas swear.
Yeah,
definitely not. Okay, then, Faye, your number 8, please.
Okay, so this is TV, and it's very like, you know, blink and you miss it. So let me take you back to the 90s, Dom Jolly's Trigger Happy. Do you remember that on our TV screens? Yeah, and so if you haven't seen it before, it's all about sort of you know, pranks. He's the king of pranks, and I had to go back and watch this again. I remembered it, but I just wanted to see it again. So basically, Dom Jolly is in this beautiful home, and he calls a real chimney sweep. So the chimney sweep is not in on the joke. And there are video cameras set up front of the house, in the room where the fireplace is. And Dom Jolly invites the chimney sweep into his lounge, and he points to the fireplace. He goes, I don't know, I just don't know what's wrong with it. You know, we used it over Christmas and it's just been blocked ever since. You know, I just don't know what's wrong with it. And the chimney sweep dutifully like rolls out his big sort of sheet that protects all the carpet and everything, and swings his head into the fireplace and then looking up the chimney. And just as he does that, Father Christmas falls down the chimney, a real man. And chimney sweep is like, shit, you know, he's like, bloody man has just fallen out of the chimney. And he just grabs his sack and he just runs out. This is Father Christmas, runs out of the house. And oh my God, what's going on? And that's it. And it's like, it's sort of all the setup, you imagine going into that, and it's 30 seconds and it's just pure genius. It's on YouTube, so look it up.
Yeah, all of our Patreon, I'll put that on the video playlist for our Patreon subscribers. But yeah, I saw that one a couple of months ago, and I'd forgotten just how funny Trigger Happy TV was. It was the start of like
so artistic and beautiful.
It's the stuff that people are making a fortune doing on things like TikTok now.
Yeah. Dom Jolly was way ahead of his time.
Way ahead.
Yeah.
With the big massive mobile phone and shouting hello and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's a really good one. I hadn't thought about that one.
Thanks, mate.
That's all right. Well done, Faye.
Done
Round of
my
applause.
research.
There you go. Round of applause. Okay, then, Neil, you're number 8.
So it's another movie, Santa. It's one that when I first saw him, I didn't particularly like the movie. It's the Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
That's my number 5.
Is it?
Yeah.
The reason it hasn't dropped, it'll probably move up the more I see it. When I first saw this, I was working for a big video chain when it came out, and I watched it and I just thought, well, that's just American, like, feel good, and I just didn't feel it. And then I watched it again a couple of years ago and watched the first 3. So I believe there's more now.
Well, there's TV series now, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And Tim Allen as Santa Claus, I realised what charm and what a great job he did. And then, like I said, I experienced the joy of the film. I don't know why I didn't see it the first time, but it's a really joyful film. It really is. And Tim Allen is a great Father Christmas. Great prosthetics as well they do on him.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got those prosthetics. I just can't get them off, unfortunately. They seem to be stuck on for all the time. I just cannot get rid of it. I've used too much glue, I think is what I did. I used too much glue to stick them on. But I think
a hot bath you need.
Yeah.
Where are they? You haven't said where they are.
What, my prosthetics?
Yeah.
That's for me to know, Faye, and for you to find out.
I've got a magical sack.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. You got it.
But yeah, he is. I think he is. I mean, I like Tim Allen. I do. I think.
Yeah.
But I think he's, especially when he is fully blown Santa.
He really.
Yeah.
Just,
he looks a little bit like Kenny Rogers, I must admit. But
yeah.
But
I would say the third one's great as well with Martin Short.
Martin Short, yeah.
Yeah, that's really good fun. I hadn't bothered watching the second or third one until a couple of years ago because I didn't enjoy the first one. But they really are fun family films. Easily put them on for your kids because if they haven't seen it, they will love it.
Yeah, you must be a fan of these movies, Faye.
Well, again, I started by saying I've realised I've missed out on a lot of Father Christmas related movies. So no, I haven't seen this one.
Wow, it's
Good
another
for the kids.
you would enjoy it. It's a lovely.
And there's no sweary Santas in it.
It's
so
a U certificate.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, your kids will love it because it's got enough slapstick in it as well to keep them entertained and laughing and enough heart to make them feel Christmassy. Because at the end of the day, that's what Christmas movies should do.
Yeah, there should be one moment in a Christmas movie that makes your bottom lip tremble and you get that lump in your throat because you're going to cry. Every single movie should have that.
Well, I agree. That's why I'm a bit sort of disturbed by your previous choice of there being blood and gore and everything.
But it still has that moment, though, Faye.
It's
it
got
still
a real
has that
Christmassy
moment.
heart. Real Christmassy
weird
heart.
juxtaposition.
Yeah, it's odd, but it's there.
Santa.
Yeah, but it has that in there. It definitely does, without a shadow of a doubt.
Even robot Santa Claus in it, it's got the Christmas heart somewhere.
Yeah. Well done.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Trust me.
Okay, my number 8. We're going back to TV for me, but this is TV from the 70s. And it's I've spoken so many times about Carry On movies. I go to sleep to one every night, listening to one. But this is the Carry On Christmas special from 1973, I think it is. And Sid James playing a store Santa, basically, and has Barbara Windsor playing this is of its time. I think she's like a 14-year-old schoolgirl sat on Sid James's knee. But it's everything you think Sid James should be as a store Santa. With the laugh, but I love Sid James. I think he's great. He's just an absolute comedy legend as far as I'm concerned. But that bit is on YouTube, so I will put it on the video playlist. But yeah, I think you have to watch it more than me try and describe it, because the more I describe it, the more it just sounds completely sus and it's something that should be locked in a vault and just never ever played again. But it is funny. There are parts of it that are funny. Okay, Faye, let's move on. You're number 7, please.
Okay, well, when you first set this challenge to me, trying to think of the top 10 Santas, the first thing that came to me was Miracle on 34th Street. But it's a film I've never seen.
Wow.
Again, I've seen clips of it. It's been on in the background. I've never watched it all the way through.
Which one are you talking about? You're talking about the
So
Richard
this is
Attenborough
the
one?
remake. So yeah, obviously it was made first time around in 1947, but yeah, this was the remake in 1994.
That's my number 3, by the way.
Richard Attenborough.
Yeah.
So you can probably tell me more about this film than I can tell you. But I mean, he's just a beautiful man, and it's his performance was so good. Apparently, it earned him the title of the UK's favourite film Santa in 2018. But yeah, what is the film about, Pavo?
He's basically the real Santa.
He is the real Santa.
He is the real Santa, but he has to prove it. He has to prove that he's the real Santa. And there's a mum with her daughter, and is she seeing? I think she's sort of dating this guy, and the daughter doesn't believe in Santa Claus. She doesn't believe in him at all. And Richard Attenborough becomes the store Santa for this particular place that this lady is working for. And it gets to the point where they have to go to court. And the guy that the woman is seeing is a lawyer. And so they go into court to try and prove that he is Santa Claus. And again, it has those moments that really are that Christmassy moment. And the one thing the reason I put it on there is that for Richard Attenborough, because he is just a great Santa, but he's always saying that he's Santa, obviously. And people are saying, well, he's just crazy. He's a crazy old man. Chris Kringle is what he calls himself. That's obviously his name. But he does this beautiful scene where he's talking to a deaf girl, but he's signing like that.
I've seen that, yeah.
And there is also a video of somebody, like a Santa in real life, that has like a deaf girl, and like the woman, the mum of the little girl doesn't know that Santa can sign. So the little girl is just, and it's literally just like the scene. Now, I don't know which came first. I don't know whether it's the real life thing and then that became an inspiration for that scene, but it was literally the same thing. Whereas that the woman said that, oh, she just wanted to see Santa. And then Santa starts signing. So she starts signing back. And it's just beautiful. The real life one is beautiful, as well as the scene. I'd love to know which came first.
Which came first?
I'm gonna have to try and find out. But I think he's great. I mean, his beard's a little bit short for Santa. I will say that. But apart from that,
that's a good point.
Well, he's just come off his summer vacation,
he has, I suppose.
so he's trimmed it to get the tan before he starts.
Well, he has just come from Jurassic Park, hasn't he? Basically.
Yeah.
So, but I think it was a change in regards to Richard Attenborough used to sort of play bad guys and stuff, didn't he, when he was in his younger days? But yeah, I love that movie. It's great. I've watched someone, I can't remember who it was who played him. Someone Gwyn, wasn't it?
Edmund Gwen.
Thank you very much, Neil. Mr. Facts.
He's good, isn't he?
He's good. He's a fact man.
Did you say fact?
No, you're a fact man.
Oh, I was going to say at the beginning of the year, I definitely was a.
You was a fact hunter.
Oh,
is what you are. I need to be careful how I say that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I completely agree with you on that one, Faye. That's a great one. And I'd recommend you watching the movie.
Again, thank you very much. And I will. I definitely will. I'm too busy every Christmas watching It's a Wonderful Life. You know?
As you should be.
It's such a great movie.
Every year.
I watch that every year.
And I cry as the moment it comes on. I'm just already in floods of tears. It does that every single time.
Absolute same. Absolute same. Go on then, Neil. You're number 7.
So here's my personal one. So every Christmas when I was growing up in the exciting times of Father Christmas, we used to always give them the opportunity to decorate my grandparents' house. And that one of the ornaments they had was probably from the beginning of the century of the 1900s or whatever. But it was a little setup of a church, which you could put a tea light candle in, that shows before batteries, and it would glow with everybody in. And then there was a house, like a Victorian house, that was set up near it. And in one of the windows, and this was always my exciting time, when you put the tea light in, it glowed every window, there was Santa delivering his presents.
Aww.
And every year, without fail, I think of those little models. I even said to my brother, and my brother was like, they weren't as good as you said. So, brother, piss off. Because you don't ruin my Christmas dream. Because, Yeah, I just remember it being, you turn all the lights out, and I always can think and still feel the feelings that I remember as that youth, just feeling so ready for Christmas. Probably at the beginning of December and far too early, and the excitement was building. But yeah, so it has to be the ornamental Father Christmas that was in that house.
And have you still got that?
No, I wish I did. I really do. I wish I did. When my grandparents passed away, I don't know what happened to it. Probably was lost in my teenage years while they were still alive. Maybe they threw it out or whatever.
Did you go to Antiques Roadshow and try and flog it, Neil? Come on.
I wish I had, because it might have been
Hey.
worth some money. Probably not, because it was a bit of
I
tax.
would never part with it. It's so special to me.
Yeah.
How much is it worth, Fiona Bruce? £10,000. Oh yes,
Fuck it, I'll just flog it.
I only want to know for insurance purposes.
Yeah.
right.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Can you absolutely imagine? Oh dear. Okay, so your little Santa house. That's very
Yeah.
cool. Okay, my number 7. Christmas doesn't start until you hear this.
Okay.
So it's the Coca-Cola advert. So
That's my number 4.
that's your number 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the Coca-Cola Santa, and really, we wouldn't have the Santa that we know now if it wasn't for Coca-Cola. But it was always that thing. I can remember, like, when my kids were little, my missus would like run through the living. It's on, because oh my god, we all just stop and watch the Coca-Cola Holidays Are Coming advert, and that would be it. That would literally be, that is now the start of Christmas, because we've just seen the advert. And so it was almost like an official opening of Christmas, just seeing that advert.
But also the thing, I mean, I'm not so bothered by this, nor with my kids when they're growing up. The Coca-Cola truck, they're like, what's a truck got to do with Christmas?
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. But what I really love about Coca-Cola, and they do it so well, is if you look back, their Santa hasn't really changed every year.
No.
So when they put it on the packaging, when they put it on everything, that to me is your iconic Santa Claus look. That is what I envisage, and probably did when I was younger, Santa to look like. And that's why I love him so much. Nothing to do with the drink itself, although if they want to sponsor us, bring it on.
I was going to say, our email is in the show notes, Coca-Cola. If you want to come and give us some of that big Coca-Cola money, we're more than happy to take it.
Absolutely. No shame here.
Going back to the truck, did it used to drive through major cities?
It still does. I mean,
Okay, so how do you know where it's going to be?
You can follow it online or something where it'll tell you the dates it's going to be. I mean, it goes to like Cheltenham, and it goes to like Swindon.
Yeah,
it goes
outside
places like
Asda in Swindon and that, wouldn't it? So you could go and see it. Have your photographs.
Do they give you free Coke when you turn up?
I think they do. I think they walk around with gifts of some.
I mean, Swindon is sus for a lot of things, so you may be able to get a bit of free Coke in Swindon. I mean, there's certain areas I'm sure you can.
Festive Coke.
We love you, Swindon. We love you, Swindon. If you want to sponsor us, Swindon, then by all means.
I don't.
No, I think I've just scuppered those plans there. Yeah. Okay. So was that my number 7? That was my number 7. So, Faye, your number 6, please.
My number 6 is, and we are losing quite a few celebrities, aren't we, as the year comes to a close. But let's pay homage now to Matt Perry. So Friends, the one with the holiday armadillo. And again, I had to remind myself of this one, but I knew that Chandler dressed up as Father Christmas in one of the episodes. So I watched it last night on YouTube, and it's just brilliant. So there he is, all dressed as Father Christmas. And there were, some great lines like, quote, but I didn't get to shake my belly like a bowl of jelly. Didn't quite deliver it very well. So Monica and he were an item at the time, and she asked whether he could keep the costume for another night, and that is the sex appeal of Father Christmas.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to whiten my beard up a bit more then.
Something about it. There's something about, and I'm going to be talking about a really sexy Santa in a few minutes' time. But yeah, that's definitely, I think, one of the moments. And Friends, it's got universal appeal, and all generations are enjoying Friends now, aren't they? And yeah, I thought quite a nice way to remember. my
Yeah.
parents.
Now here's Neil's obligatory comment when we mention Friends. Go.
I've never seen it.
You what? Not one episode.
Well, I've seen bits. It just wasn't my bag, baby. I think I said enough. It's not
Talking
my
about
sort.
bags and sacks.
I know,
Yeah.
that's all it
What's
is.
wrong with him?
Imagine
I
a
ju-
bag full of sacks.
I don't know.
Imagine that.
I'm not just Friends. I'm not a big fan of American sitcoms. There you are. I don't like all these round of applause when anybody does move or says anything. I'm not
Do
a
you know
Grinch.
what? I didn't like Friends when it first came out. I think Britain was in a really weird place. It was sort of in the 90s, and we were still trying to hold on to our sort of our British identity, and we didn't really like American imports, and we were worried about what it was going to do to our language, and we were all getting a bit sloppy and using slang. And I think there was a little bit of pushback from me personally. It was like, oh, we're all going to talk American and everything. And I really didn't get it to begin with, but then I just grew to love it. So yeah, give it a chance. Give it a chance.
Yeah, maybe. There's like 2,000 episodes, isn't there?
Something like that.
All we are saying is give Friends a chance.
You see, I've moved on from that stance. There's American sitcoms that I love now. So maybe I'll watch it. Maybe if I break my other leg and I've got another year more. Yeah,
I mean,
watch
you've had
it.
a year, Neil. You've had a year to be able to watch it. And if you're not going to watch it then, I don't think you're ever going to watch it, are you?
No, I don't diss it. I really don't diss it. It's just not my sort of thing.
No.
Fair enough.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Go on then, Neil. What is your number 6?
So on the subject of very festive Santas, what about Billy Bob Thornton as Bad Santa? Have you seen this one, Faye?
No.
Right.
I've heard of it, but no.
Yeah, this is a good grown. I mean, Billy Bob Thornton is a fantastic actor if you know his other films. But to have a refreshingly downright rude and doing everything that a Santa shouldn't be doing Santa is great. But I will add, at the end of it again, it's still got heart. There is still heart underlying throughout this movie. But it's the way he treats people. It's the way he thinks. It's the sort of thing you would think to yourself, God, if I was in that role 12 hours in a day, I think I might be thinking of saying these and wishing I could be more like Billy Bob's Santa and actually saying them.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's wrong. I get that. It's wrong. You know, nobody wants to see Santa doing things with ladies and that you shouldn't really be thinking of Santa doing. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was my number 11.
Was it?
Yeah, it was very close to being in the top 10 for me.
So I'd say watch the first one, Faye. Avoid the second one like the plague.
Oh,
All
it's
right.
a terrible movie.
Horrible,
Terrible
terrible.
movie. Okay, my number 6. We recently did top 10 Tom Hanks movies. So this is Tom Hanks in Polar Express.
Oh, brilliant.
And I tell you what, it wasn't that long ago that I actually realized that it was Tom Hanks doing the voice of Santa in that, because he has like 3 or 4 different roles in that movie. But he's got a really deep voice. And that the moment that Santa appears in that movie, that's when the heart and the bottom lip trembling moments start to come, when it's Tom Hanks as Santa. But I really, I mean, I don't know whether they've done something to his voice to make it a little bit more deeper. I'm not sure, but that is one hell of a deep.
You could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, they've done some kind of post production.
Voice pitching.
Yeah. But I thoroughly recommend it if you can get away from the dead eyes and the uncanny valley of the faces. The movie is one of my go-tos for Christmas every year, without a doubt.
I've got it lined up to watch this year because I've never seen it. So I thought, no, I'm going to do it this year.
Yeah,
So
don't get too hung up and taken out of the film because of the CGI.
No,
Yeah,
just
'cause
enjoy it for the ride.
It's the same as the Scrooge movie, you know, that Robert Zemeckis did. Some of it is just like not quite there, but as a movie, it's great, and a great song on there as well. That's really, really.
Neil,
Sad.
read the book first and then watch the movie. Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, I'll do that. Is there a
It's
book?
just what parents say, isn't it?
Oh, right. I didn't even know. There you go. I would have been searching out the book. I don't know.
We've got it somewhere. You can borrow it.
Oh, thank you.
There's some big words in it, mine, but
Well, that's all right. Could you read it for me, Faye?
Of course I can.
There you go. Record an audio book, Faye. There you go.
Yeah.
And you could listen to it.
Bedtime story just for Neil.
There you
Yeah.
go.
While I'm
Oh.
tucked up in bed.
I know. Okay, it's now time for this.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Yes, pop quiz, hot shot. So, Neil actually mentioned this in one of his facts. I heard while I was outside waiting for Santa to finish. Finish doing the. I don't know what he was doing.
Finish what?
No, I was finishing something. I'm not sure what it was.
Mince pie, I think.
I think it was. So I've got different names of Santa across the world. You need to tell me what country these names come from. Okay? So it's first one to 3. Faye, you're our guest. You can go first or second.
First, please.
You're going to go first. If you get it wrong, it passes over to Neil and vice versa for his go. So here we go. Number 1, Sinterklaas, which was mentioned in the facts.
Germany. German. Switzerland.
It's not. Neil?
Sinterklaas was Dutch.
It was the Netherlands. So 1
I'm
for
sorry,
Neil.
Faye, but it's only because I looked that fact up. That's the only reason I knew it. The rest are yours.
Right. Neil, this is your go. Jolu Pookie.
Oh, yeah. I remember him. I think he's somewhere like South Africa.
Pop quiz,
Oh,
hot
wrong
shot.
button. It's not. So over to you, Faye. Jolu Pookie. And apologies for anybody that comes from this country. I'm probably not saying it right. I haven't got an accent to it, but
China.
it's not. No, it's Finland.
Oh, okay.
So what's a Finland
Oh.
accent? Jolo Pookie? Was that?
That'll do.
I don't know. Faye, here's your second one. Babbo Natale.
Italy.
Well
Well
done.
done. Hey.
Indeed it is. Okay, Neil. Julian Nissen.
Spain.
It's not. Julian Nissen. Up to you, Faye.
Flipping heck. Julian. Oh gosh. Finland.
We've already had Finland with
Oh,
Jolo Pookie.
Can you say it again, please?
I can. Julian Nissen.
France. I don't know.
It's not. It was Norway.
Oh, okay. We're
It
very
was
Scandinavian.
Norway, indeed. Okay, then. So who's that? Is it Faye's go? Okay.
Yeah.
El Nino Jesus.
South African.
It's not. Neil?
Portugal.
No, it's not. It was Spain.
Ah,
Okay, Neil.
Oh, how long is this going on for?
It's first one to
Christmas.
3.
It's
Oh.
bed.
Neil, Hoteo Show.
Japan.
Is correct.
Oh.
Well done.
It was
Faye.
the accent that gave it away.
Kanakloka.
Kanakaloka.
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 Iceland.
It's not. Neil for the win. Kanaloka.
China.
Huh?
China.
No. It was Hawaii.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, so Neil. Dunche Lai Ren
China.
is correct. Well done, Neil.
Well done, Faye.
Well done. You've got it right. Well done. Well done. And I just had Khaled Sonilis. Any ideas? No, that was Lithuania. And
Oh, right, yeah.
Telapo,
Poland.
Hungary.
Close.
So there you go. Well done, Neil. Another win.
Yeah,
Neil.
what's going on? I don't
What's
normally
going
win
on?
these.
Well, it's Christmas.
Ooh,
Okay, then,
creepy.
Faye. Back to the work in hand. You're number 5, please.
Okay, number 5 is the sexiest Santa on our TV screens. It is Kurt Russell in the Christmas Chronicles. This
Yeah.
was back in 2018. So this was on Netflix. If you've got Netflix, you would have seen this, I'm sure. But it was directed by Chris Columbus, and he revealed that Kurt Russell was so dedicated to the role of Santa Claus that he wrote a 200-page backstory on the character. He really just wanted to live and breathe the character. He was a damn good-looking Father Christmas. I mean, just like so very sexy, and just, you know, beautifully manicured beard, and he just looked right. And he was, of course, joined on screen by his real life wife, Goldie Hawn, and she played Mrs. Claus. But yeah, it was fabulous. It was a really nice sort of modern take on Father Christmas, and yeah, bring it to a new generation.
And he's a man that doesn't need a single bit of hair stuck anywhere because he's got it all natural, hasn't he? I mean,
Exactly.
he has amazing hair and amazing beards. I just like in The Hateful Eight is another one where it's just that his moustache is just like massive. Oh, what a man! What a man!
What a man!
That's a top 10 we need to do, Neil. Is top 10 Kurt Russell movies.
Yeah,
because that would be
absolutely.
a good one to do. But I thoroughly agree with you there, Faye.
Did anybody else pick that in their top 10?
I didn't have it
No.
in my top 10. No, I didn't have it in the top.
I'm going to be hands up. I haven't seen it yet. I must watch it.
Because there is
completely
2. I think
forget.
they did a second one, didn't they?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I quite like seeing Father Christmas in in present day, and that clash between sort of all the traditions and living in a modern world, and everything that throws up. I quite like that dynamic. So yeah.
He's one of those guys that was born to play like a more an actiony kind of Santa.
Yeah.
Because he's got the look without a shadow of a doubt. That's a good one. That is a good one.
I must watch it.
Okay, then, Neil. So you said Violent Night, David Harbour, as number 5. My number 5 was Tim Allen, the Santa Claus. So we're back to you, Faye, for your number 4.
Oh my word. Okay, so in number 4, and we're going back to popular music. This is Kylie's Santa Baby. So it was originally recorded by Eartha Kitt in 1953, and then Kylie released her version in 2000. And it's just such a brilliant song, brilliant video to go with as well. I think it really, I mean, I've not always thought Kylie was a fantastic singer, but this, I think, really sort of displays what a good sort of dynamic singer she is. And she's just absolutely, sultry and sexy, and singing about her sort of Christmas wish list. And it's not like I could do with some new pots and pans for the kitchen. It is like completely self-indulgent. It's like, bring me diamonds, Father Christmas, and Santa, and yeah, nothing practical at all. And I did a quick Google last night about the sort of the meaning behind this song, and there was this whole, I've never looked at this before, but is she talking about having a sugar daddy and calling Santa, her sugar daddy Santa? And I was like, oh gosh, that's an interesting take on it. Maybe I should get a sugar daddy. Everyone knows a sugar daddy, Pablo. You've got all the credentials.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to call me Santa Baby, I'll take a loan out now. So I've got some money. Otherwise,
okay, here's a little quiz question for you both. So Kylie talks about wanting a 54 convertible. What colour?
Light blue, isn't it?
Very good. Give yourself
well done,
a round of applause.
I gotta have a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. The crowd are going wild there. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, that's
what year did you say this was? That Santa Baby?
2000, but I think it was re-released.
Right.
Oh,
So it was before, it was after the Stock Aitken and Waterman years then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause she did a whole Christmas album, didn't she? I think.
I don't know.
I think she did with like an orchestra and stuff. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure I've
okay.
seen another couple of videos of her singing with like a massive orchestra, and she was singing Christmassy songs. So yeah, very good. Okay then, Neil, your number 4 was the Coca-Cola Santa.
It was.
My number 4 is Ed Asner in Elf.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's a bit more of a he's a bit more of a cantankerous old buttock, Ed Asner, his Santa. But I do like that. I mean, I always think that that's what Ed Asner was like in real life. You know, he wasn't somebody that was like always jolly. He was quite moody and can be quite straight with people, and that's a little bit like what Ed Asner's Santa is in Elf. You know, and especially near the end, and the fact that the magic is dying. There isn't enough magic to run the sleigh, so Buddy has to help him make this big engine that has to go on it. So I think and everybody loves Elf, don't they? Does everybody? I'm sure everybody loves Elf.
They should do, because again, we talk about heart, we talk about fun.
God, that has me when they're all singing at the end.
Yeah,
and James Caan finally starts singing. That's the bit that gets me. That's every single time. It's such a good movie. It's got everything, that movie.
I'd like to see it on stage. They reckon it's very good, the stage production.
Oh, is there a stage version?
Yeah.
My niece is going to see it. I didn't realise there was, but do you know, I've only seen Elf all the way through once. So I'd love to watch it again, actually, because it is a classic Christmas movie, isn't it?
One day, one Christmas, I'm going to make what Buddy makes himself for breakfast, with like the spaghetti and the Pop-Tarts and the Smarties and the chocolate syrup,
and then vomit all over your family.
Yeah,
and
I just for one day, I just want to try it just to see what it's actually like.
Why don't you this Christmas guzzle that massive bottle of Coke and then just do the longest belch you can? Right.
I mean, I can do the belch. That's no problem at all.
Middle of the
comes
Christmas
out of both
dinner.
ends when I do a belch like that. But we can give it a go, can't we? Maybe that's the next year's Christmas special. We're just trying to have a belching competition.
Top 10
Faye,
belches.
you going to join us for that one?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
Why not?
That's a date then. That's a date. Okay then, Faye, your number 3 then, please.
Okay, so number 3 is The Snowman by Raymond Briggs. This is the film that's shown practically every Christmas. It's been around forever. I remember when it first came out when I was a little girl, and I had the whole gift set for Christmas. It was the notepad, the pencil case, and I hadn't even seen it. And it was quite a few years before I did actually see it. It's a beautiful film. It's about a little boy who meets a snowman, and they have magical adventures together. But of course, they fly to the North Pole, and there they meet Father Christmas. And there's a big old snow person party going down. I mean, it's so diverse. There's snow people of every culture come together, and they're all singing around the piano and swigging pints. It's like the best sort of party. And then James gets to meet Father Christmas, and he's everything you'd expect a sort of animation Father Christmas to be, these big ruddy cheeks, and he gives James the biggest hug, and you could just feel him sort of melting into Father Christmas. And then Father Christmas takes a present off the sleigh. He meets the reindeers inside the stable and presents James a little present. So can you remember what that present was?
No, we can't.
I can't, no.
It was a scarf with snowmen on it. And that was it. It was only, a fleeting visit, and then James and the snowman fly off and continue their adventures. So yeah, the Father Christmas that features in The Snowman.
And who did the voice of the Father Christmas?
I don't know. Do you know?
It was Mel Smith.
Was it really?
Mel Smith in the 9 o'clock news, yeah.
Oh,
the late Mel Smith as well. You forget that he passed away a few years ago now.
Didn't Raymond Briggs write a book, Father Christmas?
I think there was another cartoon. I think they did another cartoon.
Did they do
Father
the cartoon
Christmas,
of it? Raymond Briggs was a genius, Because did you ever see When the Wind Blows? I'd bring it right down, but the one
Yeah,
after.
thanks,
Yeah,
Neil.
yeah.
We're doing Christmas. Let's talk about nuclear war, shall we?
Yeah,
Well
come
done.
on. It's
Keep it
precedent.
light, Neil. We've told you
It's
before.
precedent.
Keep it light.
But it was very sweet and very good. Very well done.
Anyway, Neil, you're number 3, please.
Talking about keeping it light, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
No, I love this movie. This is another staple for me because I think this movie is as sweet can be, the underlying story. But I'm not choosing the actual Father Christmas that's in it. I'm choosing Jack Skellington, who wanted to be Father Christmas and dressed up as Father Christmas, all because he wanted to give joy. He wanted to change the season that he was from Halloween to Christmas. He wanted to have a go at being Father Christmas. Okay, he bullied it royally, but the heart was there and he did everything he could to bring it back. So, yeah, I'm putting it there. Plus, Danny Elfman played him, and Danny Elfman's a genius. With his music and songs. Have you seen this one, Faye? No.
See, I'm not a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, I
don't know why, but I just doesn't have that same magic for me.
Oh, no.
Now he's bringing it down.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's really gone, doesn't it? It's really gone downhill.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first mention of nuclear war, and all of a sudden everybody's just
down.
now.
Well, it's still got the joy of Christmas right through the movie.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm just saying. For me, I don't know why I don't.
Maybe you don't like that sort of stop motion animation. Do you like The Corpse Bride? Coraline?
Not particularly.
Oh,
I love
maybe
Chicken
it's
Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Okay. My number 3 was Richard Attenborough, Miracle on 34th Street. So we're back to you again, Faye, for number 2.
Okay, so it's another song, and as soon as I say it, you'll think there's no reference to Father Christmas at all. But I am talking about Wham's Last Christmas.
There's no reference to Father Christmas in that at all.
There isn't. That's what you were thinking.
That's what I was thinking. Okay, go on then.
So it's a real tenuous link, which I'll get to in a second. But yeah, what a fantastic tune, by the way. And again, I mean, I know it wasn't made in the 70s, but blimey, they don't make Christmas tunes like that anymore. It's a ballad of a doomed romance, and who could forget the iconic video that they filmed. And there's been loads of documentaries about Wham recently, and they talked about the filming of the video for Last Christmas, and when they all got round the table and they're having their sort of Christmas dinner and party, and they really did get very, very pissed that night recording it. And it's like it's genuine laughter and silliness, and it just sort of shows what good friends they all were. So anyway, iconic video, iconic song. The legacy of that song lives on forever. There's even a game now that people play at Christmas, Whamageddon. If you hear it on the radio, you're out of the game. So you're thinking, what is the Father Christmas link? So I bought this a couple of years ago from Tesco, and on the cover of
yeah.
So George Michael, can't get this right here. George Michael dressed as Father Christmas.
There you go. Makes perfect sense now.
Got it?
Yep.
There you go.
Well done.
There you go. Bit of a tenuous link there, but
it's perfectly fine. I completely agree with that one. I was thinking now maybe there is a Santa somewhere in the video, because they're out there in the snow, aren't they?
There isn't. I went through the video a couple of times. No Santa.
Well done. Very good. That's a great way. That's a great way of getting Last Christmas by Wham in there.
Shoehorning it in.
But that's
by crook. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Is that your favourite Christmas song, Faye?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It is a great tune.
It is. Saying that, I do like Fairy Tale of New York. No, I think that is my favourite.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Go on then, Neil. You're number 2.
So this is a bit of a strange one. I need to talk about my 1 and 2 because these could swap either side. So forgive me for this for spoiling my number 1. It's Edmund Gwenn as Miracle on 34th Street, Father Christmas. Richard Attenborough as my number 1. And the reason they could swap either way, because I'm a fan of both movies. I think they've done a grand job on both movies. they're both what I think is the perfect movie Santa both ways. You spoke about the story before. The story is just spreading the Christmas joy like you wouldn't believe through different things. Yeah, I just think they're both perfect, and I couldn't decide which one to put a 1 and which one to put a 2, because I think they're just as good as each other, and I love those movies. And the black and white one for years was the staple. Then it came out, I had it on my VHS. Then it came out obviously in 1995, and we all got to enjoy it on Blu-ray, not Blu-ray, on DVD, and the quality there. And then I enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed the black and white one. Hence, I find it hard to differentiate between 1 and 2. So together, they are to me, the perfect movie Santa Claus is.
Okay. So you've spoiled your number 1 now.
I have, but the reason being is because I can't decide which one to put at number 1 and which one to put at number 2, because I love them both as much as each other. It's like Sophie's Choice, isn't it?
It is. It is. Well, maybe not as bad as that.
No, maybe not. Could be for some children, but
I mean,
maybe
it could be for some, yeah. Okay, well, my number 2 was Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places. So before Faye and I reveal our number 1s, as Neil has already done that.
Apologies, but
No,
it's
don't
understandable.
apologise. It's Christmas. You've already mentioned nuclear war, so don't worry about it. It's fine. You know, that hit rock bottom there. So don't worry
I
about
got plagues and all coming
I
in.
bet you have. Faye, if you want to reveal give us your 10 to 2 first. Neil will do the same and his number 1 because he's already told us. And I'll do my 10 to 2, and then we'll reveal our number 1s.
Okay. All right. In at number 2. So the department store Santa in Worcester at the department store Russell and Dorrell. I'm pretty sure it's not there anymore, but we used to go and see him in the Santa Grotto every year. In at number 9 is Wizards. I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. In at number 8, Dom Jolly's Trigger Happy and the big old scam with the blocked up chimney and Father Christmas Falls Out. Number 7, Miracle on 34th Street. Number 6, Friends, the one with the holiday armadillo. Number 5, The Christmas Chronicles, the 2008 Netflix film. In at number 4, Kylie's Santa Baby. In at number 3, The Snowman by Raymond Briggs. In at number 2, Last Christmas by Wham.
Wonderful. That was done almost like you've done that on the radio before. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Go on then, Neil. Your 10 to 2, please.
So Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places. At number 9, John Goodman, Robot Santa Claus. At number 8, Tim Allen, The Santa Claus. Number 7, my grandparents' ornamental Christmas house with Santa in. Number 6, Billy Bob Thornton, Bad Santa. Number 5, David Harbour, Violent Night. Number 4, Coca-Cola Santa. Number 3, Jack Skellington, Nightmare Before Christmas. Number 2, Miracle on 34th Street, one of them, Father Christmas.
Lovely. Mine is number 10, Disneyland Paris Santa. Number 9, David Harbour in Violent Night. 8 was Sid James in the Carry On Christmas Special. 7, the Coca-Cola Santa. 6, Tom Hanks in Polar Express. 5, Tim Allen, the Santa Claus. 4, Ed Asner in Elf. 3, Richard Attenborough, Miracle on 34th Street. And number 2, Dan Aykroyd, Trading Places. So, Faye, what is your number 1 Santa?
Okay, my number 1. So this is the biggest showbiz secret I have ever revealed. And I've never, ever, ever told anybody the true identity of the Father Christmas that played Father Christmas in my radio phone-in. So my old job, as you know, I used to be a radio presenter on BBC Radio Gloucestershire. And for 15 plus years, I did every year a Father Christmas phone-in. And it started off as a phone-in. He would sit in the studio with me and we'd take calls from listeners, children, grown-up children. And we'd go through popular toys that Christmas, and he would be responding to the day's news, the big stories from across the year. And it just grew from there. We did over those 15 years, we did so many things. We did Secret Santa, where we went out, we physically visited people in the community. You know, these were real sort of local heroes that just did amazing work in their communities, voluntary work, unsung heroes. And we just, they got nominated by people. They didn't know this was happening, and we just turned up on spec and surprised them. So, you know, real life Santa going, "You're amazing. Here's, you know, some BBC Radio Gloucestershire merchandise." And, you know, we record something for the radio, but just honestly, just seeing people's faces light up. It's Father Christmas and he's there to say thank you. Honestly, I mean, it was the highlight of my career working with Father Christmas. We did Zoom bombing during the pandemic. Of course, we were having to be really creative, you know, how we made radio.
Yeah.
And, you know, mischievous ways of trying to get people, again, really good eggs in our community onto a Zoom. I would make up some lie about wanting to talk to them about their charity work or whatever. And then out of nowhere, Father Christmas would appear on the Zoom call, and he would just take over and say, "This isn't an interview about your charity or whatever. This is about you, and somebody's nominated you." And you just saw people sort of like in complete shock and break down, but with happiness. They were just so moved. And so we did stuff like that. We were introduced to Mrs. Claus. She phoned up one time saying, "When's Father Christmas going to be back?" I didn't even know that was going to happen. We met his daughter. Well, it was his real life daughter, but it was Santa's little helper. Bell. So we just grew this character, and it started from really sort of humble beginnings. Somebody recommended this particular Santa to me because he had all the gear, and this is the big showbiz secret that I'm going to reveal to you now. Many people have asked me over the years, you know, who is it that plays Father Christmas? As we know, there are impersonators out there. I have never ever revealed the true identity of my Father Christmas, but I'm going to reveal his identity.
And who is it? Here we go.
And he will be known, if you're, I'm really sorry if you're listening outside of Gloucestershire. Yeah, people will know this man. For many, many years, he ran Cotswold Costumes in Nailsworth, and he owned this business for 30 odd years. And that's how and why I was introduced to him. It was just because he had the Father Christmas outfit.
Right.
And from there he grew. He was like, "I don't really know what I'm doing. I've never done this before." But he just seemed to have all the magical things that you need to play Father Christmas. He had an amazing, I'm talking about him like he's dead. He's not. I saw him the other week. He was at my leaving party from the BBC, and I was like, "Great to see Father Christmas here." But he was just so naughty on the radio. He had a real twinkle in his eye when we worked together, and he was just the right side of naughty, which was brilliant. And that's why people loved listening to him so much. And he was so well respected, even though he was only on the radio once a year. Everybody knew and loved him. And what's really amazing about him, without his beard and his costume, he does look like Richard Attenborough in real life.
Oh, really?
So it's sort of beautiful sort of symmetry there. So this goes out to Jim Robinson, my good pal, who played Father Christmas for such a long time, and a very personal one for me. But I think he is part of our culture, really, our popular culture here in Gloucestershire.
Oh,
fantastic.
The secret is finally out. There you go.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I could have that as the promo for the episode, but that gives the game away. People need to be listening. Yeah, let's not give it away. But that's really nice.
That's cute, isn't it?
That's
Lovely.
really nice. Well done, Faye.
Thank
So that was
you,
15 years you did that.
15 plus years, yeah.
Wow.
And that was the saddest thing that I said goodbye to. I knew that was going to be our last one.
Yeah.
Last year. And he said, "I really can't believe this is coming to an end." I said, "Just don't think about it too much. Just think about all the people we've made smile, or you've made smile over the years, and you know, just hold on to that." But yeah, we're still really good friends. And that was the really nice thing, you know, all of the contributors, like you guys, you know, on the show over the years, we've all stayed friends. So that's That's the
Yeah.
best.
It was
isn't
always
it?
a lot of fun,
That
though,
is.
wasn't it? It was always
It
a lot of
we-
fun
it
coming and
was.
doing,
It
doing
really
silly
was.
things. Oh, that's such a good one. Okay then, Neil.
Camo.
Well, yours, Neil, was Richard Attenborough,
Or
or yeah,
Edmund
or
Gwen.
yeah.
Gwen,
yeah.
either one.
Okay. Mine is from my favorite Christmas movie, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Some might think that it's Chevy Chase. It's not. It's going to be the cartoon at the start, where poor Santa is trying to deliver things and he's getting just beaten and battered and blown up and set on fire and smashed into things and little cannonballs hitting him in the face. It's another one of those moments when I watch that I think, right, Christmas has now started because I've watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Sometimes I might watch it in September or October. I might just do that anyway because I feel like I want to watch it. But that to me is one of those little moments with the poor Santa. He just doesn't catch a break in that cartoon, and it's a great way to start the movie. It really is with the great song. It just is a perfect way to start a Christmas movie, and it's the greatest Christmas movie ever. That's all I got to say about that. I can't go into the wonderful stories that Faye had just a minute ago, but there you go. Okay, we've got some honorable mentions. Lisa Buchanan said, first to pop into my head was Billy Bob Thornton from Bad Santa. This should really give you an insight into how troubled I really am, says Lisa. Second was Edmund Gwen from Miracle on 34th Street. His Kris Kringle epitomized for me the magic of a good Santa. At This One Samantha said Billy Bob's Bad Santa. Janine Bender said, I like Tim Allen's Santa in The Santa Claus. Jodie Yokota said Ed Asner in Elf. Kit Torpin said John Travolta in the Capital One advert. Now, have you guys seen this?
No.
I watched it for the first time because he sent me the link. I will put it in the video playlist. It's basically John Travolta dressed up as Santa, walking down the street to Saturday Night Fever. And he's doing the strut and he's strutting, and then he goes into a shop and he gets a coffee, I think, and the woman behind the counter is the woman that John Travolta dances with in Saturday Night Fever.
Oh right, oh cool.
Oh,
And
cool.
then he goes and he gets on a dance floor and he's doing it, but he's dressed head to toe as Santa, looking very much like the Kurt Russell Santa with the flowing hair. Obviously, it's not his. That's not his hair, but it's a real, and it's all about Capital One credit cards. So Capital One, if you want to sponsor us, by all means, we're available.
Yes, please.
It is such a good advert. It is so good. It is like Christmas, but Saturday Night Fever. So thank you very much, Kit, for showing us about this one. Stu Grant said, "You know me. It has to be Bruce Campbell in The Librarians." Vicky Paulson said it'll always be Kramer as a communist Santa in Seinfeld. Doug Simpson said Jim Carrey in The Grinch, Boris Karloff in The Grinch, David Huddleston in Santa Claus the Movie, Richard Attenborough in Miracle on 34th Street, Mel Smith in Father Christmas, Bill Nighy in Arthur Christmas, and David Berger said David Harbour, Violent Night. So there you go. All bases covered. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our Christmas extravaganza with the wonderful, lovely Faye and her. I mean, I don't know what she's trying to do there because it isn't moving.
Spin round, like go round in a cycle.
Go on, spin it round.
That's all. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Can you not? Oh no, mine. It means nothing for people listening, but means everything for people watching. It really does. So that's it. We've done it. That's our Christmas special. From me to everybody listening and watching, have a wonderful, lovely, safe Christmas and a happy new year. Before we say our proper goodbyes, Neil, tell everybody how they can get in touch with us and all that gubbins.
Let's do this quickly so we don't lose the Christmas spirit. You can find us on all the social medias at
Mr.
Top 10
Nuclear
Pods.
War saying that. Sorry, Neil, carry on.
It's at
I
Top
don't
10
want to disturb
Pods.
what you guys
Give us a click, give us a like, give us a follow, give us whatever it is you give us. Email us at top10pods@hotmail.com with anything you want to ask us. Come and help support the podcast at patreon.com/top10pods. You can get all sorts of rewards, even being a guest yourselves. Check out all of our links via the link tree. I've had too many sherries.
Eggnog.
Oh yes, I'm covered in eggnog. You can find the link in the show notes, and please come subscribe and leave us a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts from. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas. And a happy New Year.
Neil needs
everyone.
Neil. You need a lie down now. I feel
I
like you've
do.
just
I've
had
got
a
very,
little
very
bit too
hot.
much snowballs in it. That's what you've had. Remember the snowballs and the
yes.
cherries. Oh,
My
dear.
first alcoholic Christmas drink. And I haven't stopped drinking it.
No,
since.
I bet you haven't. Faye, thank you so much for joining us once
You're
again.
welcome. Thanks for
Um,
inviting me. Always lovely to work with you guys. Not
Oh,
really
bless your
work,
heart.
Bless you.
Bless your heart.
Yes,
Um,
thank you, Faye.
Have
Thank
a
you very
wonderful
much.
Christmas and a
Thank you so
happy
much.
New Year. And I'm sure we'll see you sometime in 2024 and come and join us
Absolutely.
again. It'll be a
Thank you.
wonder as always. Neil, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pav. Thank you very much, Faye. Merry Christmas and a happy New
Oh,
Year to
good to
you.
see you, Neil. Good
Oh,
to see you
and
back.
you.
Indeed. And Merry Christmas to everybody. And thank you for watching and listening. And let's go start the Christmas countdown.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Christmas special of our pod, the top 10 of everything. So, tonight,
Hang on,
we
stop. It's the top 10 of anything, Neil.
Anything,
Come
I
on,
said
we're nearly
everything.
200 episodes in, and you don't
I
know the
know,
name
I
of the
know.
pod. There's an outtake for the end of the episode.
3, 2,
Okay.
1. Hello, ladies and
go.
gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and
3, 2, 1.
welcome.
That's like old times.
It is. Right. Okay. Strange noises are occurring. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very festive top 10 of everything. I had to try to stop myself. I'm not going to say that. Can't say that.
Why?
Because I'm going to laugh every time now.
Oh, God. Okay.